Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Venti. Today we are going to look at a grade 10 math literacy section. Specifically, we're looking at data collection and handling data. Today's video is all about organizing data. I'm using the Mind Action Series textbook. I'm going to do exercise 6.4, which starts on page 240. In this video, I'm going to do part 1, which is going to be questions 1 up until 4. There will be a part 2 for the rest of the questions. Let's get started. Our first question says to us that the following data represents the test results of a class which has got a maximum of 50 marks. Then they give us a set of data starting from 34 and ending on 21. They ask us to use the interval of 5 marks to construct a frequency table. Now, they give us a diagram of the frequency table that we need to use, and in essence, the first thing that we need to do is we need to give this frequency table headings. So because we are doing, as you can see that we are doing marks, these are the marks of the kids, the heading of the first one is going to be our marks. The second one is going to be our tallies. And the third one is going to be the frequency. Now, if you remember the difference between discrete and continuous data, we said discrete data is items that are whole items. So in this example, they are telling us to go 5 marks at a time. This is going to be considered as continuous data because it's groups of marks together. It's not 1 mark at a time. So they start at 11 to 15, and the reason why they start at 11 is because nobody got below 10 or 10 and below. So we're going to go 11 to 15, 16 to 20. 21, notice it's that 1 that we're doing. To 25, it's that 5. And then we're going to have 26, which is that 6, to 30, which is that 0. Then we're going to go 31 to 35, again that 1 and that 5, and then we're going to go 36 to 40, that 6 and that 0. We repeat. And then 41 to 45, and lastly 46 to 50. Now the reason why we stop at 50 is because the maximum marks is 50 marks. You don't have more than 50 marks. Nobody can get 60 out of 50. So now we need to take this data and put it into the table. Now there's different ways of doing this, but in essence what we're going to do is we're going to go through it one at a time. So my first number is 34. 34 is somewhere between 31 and 35. So I'm going to put a tally mark there for 34, and I'm going to remove it from my list. Next up, I have 25, so I'm going to place it there, and I am going to remove 25. Then I have 16, place it there, and I remove it. I'm going to change color just to make it easier for you to see what I'm doing. You don't need to change color. Okay, 25 is my next one, so 25 goes there. Then I have 18. 18 goes there, and I have 12. 12 goes there. Next up, I have 48. 48 goes there. Then I have 45, which goes there. And then I have 29, which goes there. Next up, I have 21, which goes there. Then I have 41, which goes there, and then I have 31, which goes there. Next up, I have 42, which goes there. Then I have 36, which goes there, and I have 20, which goes there. Next up, I have 34, 39, 27. Next up, I have 36, 12, 33. Then I have 43, 46, 36, 50, 27, 42. Now notice on 42 I've got 4 marks going up and down. I got this mustard, green, blue, grey. So now I need to add one more tally. Because I've got 4, my 5th tally goes across to make a group of 5. Next up, I've got 19. Again, I've got in this group, I've got orange, pink, green, blue. That is 4 tallies. So my 5th tally looks like that for 19. Then I've got 29, which goes there. And I've got 48. 26. Again, 26 is going to be tally number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 going down. Tally number 5, that's 26. Oh, I skipped 48 over here. So 48. Now notice how using a pen to scratch them out prevents making mistakes. So I skipped 48, but I could see I skipped it because I didn't scratch it out. So let's put 48 over here. Again, we're going to go 5 across and remove 48. We've got 26 in purple. Next, we're going to do 30 in purple, which is there. And then 17 in purple, which is there. Okay. Now we are going to do 37 in black. So that's going to be 5 for 37, 46, and 37 again. Next up, we've got 41. We've got 41 again, and 22. 46, 30, and 27. 32. 32 is going to be my 5 going across. 35, 19, 20, 15, 47, 24, 40, 21. 21 is the 5 across. Now notice that everything over here has been covered or cancelled out, which means that all of my tally marks are accounted for. I have placed all of the numbers in my tallies. Now I'm going to do the frequency. So when I'm doing the frequency, I am going to count how many tallies I have. Over here in my 11 to 15 category, I have 1, 2, 3 tallies, which means it shows up 3 times. In my 16 to 20, I have a group of 5. So I start and I say 5, and I count the remaining 3. 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8. Next one is going to be 5. Then I have 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 5, 6. 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is how I complete my frequency table. Now what they did not add that I want you to add is to do a total at the bottom. And you are going to do a total of the frequency, how often it shows up. I want you to add all of these numbers up. So you can use your calculator for that. Okay, so do you remember that mistake I made with the 48? I think I counted it twice. So I removed it and I made that tally 7. In total, you should have 51 frequencies because there are 51 numbers that show up here. An easy way to check is to count the numbers across. So if I count the numbers across, I have 17 numbers. If I count the numbers down, I have 3 numbers. And 17 times 3 gives me 51. So if we add all of these up, it should be equal to 51. This is how we do the frequency table. Now let's look at the next question. The question asks us, how many people wrote the class test? This answer we get from this total. So the total tells me that 51 people wrote the class test. And I answer the question by writing 51. I think the blue is easier to see. Now the next question says, if the pass mark is 40%, how many people failed the test? Now before we can answer this, notice that this is not in percentages, right? So what we are looking for is 40%. If I say I've got 50 marks and I convert 50 marks to percentages, so my mark is going to be out of 50, and when it's a percent, it's out of 100. To go from 50 to 100, I need to times 2. Do you agree with me? 50 times 2 gives me 100. So for me to get a percentage, it needs to be double the mark that you get at the end of the test. Now, if I have 40% and I want to know how many points 40% is, how much out of 50 is 40%, I'm going to do the opposite of this, and I'm going to say divide by 2. Do you agree with me? So that means 40 divided by 2 is going to be 20. What am I saying? I'm saying 40% is equal to 20 out of 50. That is how we calculate 40%. Now the question says, passing is 40%. How many failed? If I'm saying failed, is that more than or less than 40%? It will be less than, right? So if I'm saying less than 40%, and I'm saying 40% is 20 marks. The question is, how many people got less than 20 marks? So let's go to our frequency table. And on our frequency table, we can see we've got that is less than 20 and that is less than 20, which means we've got 3 and 8. Add them together. 3 plus 8 gives us 11. So in total, 11 kids failed the test. If the pass mark is 40%, how many failed? The answer is 11. Next question. By analyzing the frequency table, do you think that this was an easy or difficult test? Explain. Now let's have a look. When we're looking at this test, we're saying that there are 51 people wrote, right? 51 people wrote in total. When I look at this question, I'm saying 11 people failed, right? So I'm going to subtract it from the total, and I can tell myself how many people passed. So 1 minus 1 is 0, and 5 minus 1 is 4. 40 people passed. So 40 passed and 11 failed. Because most people passed, right? We are going to say that I think that this is a relatively easy test because most people, and that is a logical statement. Now remember, you are doing mathematics, so showing your reasoning is important. You cannot just make a statement without any numbers to support it. That is the end of question 1. Let's move on to question 2. Question 2 tells us that Joshua sees a toy that he really wants to buy. His parents allow him to break open his money box, which is now full. The following coins were inside of his money box. Question 2.1 tells me construct a tally table to organize the data. So let's do that. Our tally table needs to have a heading. So let's give our tally table 3 headings. The first heading is the category of items that we're talking about. In this instance, we're talking about coins. So we are going to, in our previous example, we were talking about marks. In our classroom example, we were talking about sweets or the color of your car or whatever. So the category of items that we are grouping, we're going to group in coins. Then our next option is going to be, our next heading is going to be the tallies. And our next heading is going to be the frequency of each category coming up. So what are we going to do here? We are going to, you can go through it one by one like we did in the previous one. Before we need to decide what are the groups in our coins going. So going back to the concept of discrete and continuous data, because coins are physical items, you have got literally a 20 cents coin. You don't have a 30 cents coin. You can't have a coin between, we don't have 25 cents coins. We don't have 30 cents coins or whatever. You have specific items. So you have a 20 cents coin, you have a 50 cents coin, you have a 1 rand coin, you have a 2 rand coin, and we have a 5 rand coin. So these are specific items. This is discrete. So we're going to put 20 cents as 1, 50 cents, 1 rand, 2 rand, 5 rand. And those are going to be the items that we are going to put down as our coins. Next up, we want to see how many of each we have. So what we can do is we can highlight. Let's start with the first one. The first one is a 2 rand coin. So if I highlight all the 2 rands in this yellow, then I can count exactly how many 2 rands I have. Is that all of them? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 2 rand coins. So I'm going to tally it like this. 2 rand coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what I tally for 2 rand coins. Now let's do the same for the 5 rand coin. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I found 10 5 rand coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what I see for 5 rand coins. Next, let's do 50 cents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we got 9 50 cents coins. Let's write this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Next is 1 rand. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 1 rands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 1 rand coins. Next up, we've got 20 cents coins. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 20 cents. So I'm going to tally that 1, 2, 3, 4. And what is left is, oh, there's a 2 rand coin over there that I overlooked. So I'm going to add that to my 2 rand tallies. Now, again, using the color helps me to see when I made a mistake. So cancelling out and marking the ones that I am counting makes me see what is not marked and makes me see what is left over. The other thing that's left over is this 20 rand over there. So I'm going to put the 20 rand at the bottom of my coins, and I've got one of those. Now that I have highlighted all of the numbers in here, I am satisfied that my table is constructed properly. So now I'm going to count the frequency. My 20 cents, I've got 4 20 cents. Let's stick to the right. My 50 cents, I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 50 cents. My 1 rands, I've got 10 because I've got 2 groups of 5. Easy to see. 2 rands, I've got 5, 6, 7, 8 2 rands. 5 rands, I've got 10 5 rands. And 20 rand, I've got 1 20 rand. So this is my frequency table in order to see exactly how much of each we have. Now, what I don't have at the bottom there is my total. Let's see if we can calculate the total. So the total in terms of the frequency was how many coins basically do we have? And we are going to add all of this together. Now, obviously, this 20 rand is not a coin. So maybe we rename this from coins, we rename it to money. But if you kept coins, I will not penalize you. So let's count. I've got 10, 20, 9 and 1 make 10. So that's 30. I've got 38 plus 4, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So there are 42 individual pieces of money in this piggy bank. So we have done 2.1. We have constructed the tally table. Now 2.2 says how many 5 rand coins are in the money box. So let's go back here. In the 5 rand coins we have got 10. We simply go to 5 rand and we look at our frequency, and the answer is we have 10 5 rand coins. How much money was in Joshua's box in total? Let's calculate this. So what you're going to do is you're literally going to multiply. You're going to say 4 times 20 cents gives me, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 2 is 8, 80 cents. So because I'm working with money, I'm going to do 2 decimal places in rands. How many 50 cents coins? We've got 9. So we've got 9 times 50 cents is going to be 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 5 is 45. So I'm going to write my 45 there. And because it's money, my comma is 2 decimal places. So the amount of 50 cents is 4 rand 50 in 50 cents. Next up, we've got 10 times 1 rand. Now because it's 1 rand, these 2 zeros are already blank. 10 times 1 rand is going to be 10 rand. Do you agree with me? So that gives me 10 rand. Next up, we've got 2 rands. So 8 times 2 rand. Double of 8 is 16. So we've got 16 rand in 2 rand coins. And then we want to have 10 times 5 rand. So 5 times 10 is 50. 50 rand in 5 rand coins. And lastly, we've got 1 times 20 rand, which is 20 rand. So what we need to do now is we need to add everything up. And when we add it up, I'm going to say 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 5 is 13. plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. So it's going to be 3 carry 1 over. Then I put my comma there for the money, and I'm going to say 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So 1 carry 1 over. 5 plus 2 is 7, 8, 9, 10. And that is, so the total amount of money that we have in the money box is 101 Rand and 30 cents. That is as much money as he has saved. So we can answer the question, how much money was in the money box? And the answer to that is 101 Rand and 30 cents. Joshua's new toy is costing 120 Rand. His parents have decided to give him the difference. How much money will his parents give him? So how do we calculate this? We're going to say that it's 120 Rand. This is the total cost. Then we are going to subtract 101 Rand and 30 cents, which is how much he has, right? So we're saying minus, and you can use your calculator or you can use long subtraction. So let's do that. I can't borrow from 0. So 2 becomes 1. That becomes 10. 10 becomes 9. And that becomes 10. So 0 minus 0 is 0. 10 minus 3 is 7. Bring down the comma. 9 minus 1 is 8. 1 minus 0 is 1. 1 minus 0 is nothing. So the amount of money that his parents will give him is 18 Rand and 70 cents. That's how much he'll get from his parents. Next question. If you consider the cost of the toy and the amount of money that he had in his money box, what percentage was his contribution to the toy? So what we're going to do is we are going to say, remember when you're calculating the percentage of your mark, you say what I have divided by the total. So we're going to do the same thing for the percentage of his money. What does he have? He has 101.30. What is the total? The total is 120. 101.30 divided by 120. And that answer we are going to multiply by 100 in order to make it a percentage. If you just do the fraction, your answer is going to be a decimal. So for this, we are going to use our calculator, and we say 101.3 divided by 120. That gives us 0.844416667. And we multiply that by 100. So the answer is then going to be 84,4166667. But because this is a percentage, we are going to work without decimals. So 0 decimals, which means I look at this number. This number tells me to stay the same. So my answer is going to be 84%. Joshua contributed 84% and his parents gave the remaining 16%. That is the end of question 2. Now I'm going to stop the video here because it's already half an hour long. And then I will pick up question 3 in the next video. I hope that this helped you. Please study hard. If you have any questions, send me a text message. I will answer you. And yes, all the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.